Lauren, I haven't played this game in forever.
I'm terrible at it.
Let's play a season as the Twins. You like that?
I like that.
Let's check it out.
Beat you. You better watch it.
Oh, man, look at Royce Lewis. He's feeling good. Swing is looking right. I think he's going to have a big year this year.
Oh, Pablo López. Yes, please. He is meticulous in his preparation. He's going to take it to the next level.
Man, look at Carlos Correa. Fully healthy right now. All-star last year. Man, I can't wait to see this season play out.
All right.
All right, let's run the simulation.
Let's run the simulation and see how this turns out.
Twins territory, wherever you are right now, you will not forget this moment.
Can you believe it, Lauren? They actually made the playoffs.
You guys needed a simulation for that? I could have told you that. 30 clubs, 15 days, Twins camp starts right now.
The Minnesota Twins make their spring training home in Lee County, Florida. 30 clubs in 15 days rolls on. We are presented by T-Mobile, and we're thrilled to be at Twins camp. You can say that again. Welcome inside. Lauren Shahadi, Chris Young. The AL Central showed out last season.
They did. 3 teams.
Right? 3 teams making the postseason. The Twins 2 games over 500. There is a vibe this year. They've got arms. They've got bats. They've got stars for days here.
When I see how their season played out, last year they were a really good team, Lauren. They were a great team on paper all the way into the middle of August. They were a great ball club right there in the hunt for the postseason. And then, unfortunately, injuries caught up to them from the pitching staff to the position players. So many players got hurt. No, they didn't make a lot of moves in the offseason, but you still have Byron Buxton, Royce Lewis, Carlos Correa, and then the pitching staff. Nobody's running to the bat rack, Lauren, to face Pablo López, Joe Ryan, Bailey Ober. They have so many weapons, and then Duran at the back end of the bullpen.
Nasty.
So many weapons that they have to where when you see this team on paper, there's no reason that you can believe that they're going the other way. They're going up only.
Every camp in the history of spring training, health is wealth, right? It's not a concern here at Twins camp with the big 3, and at the center of it, it's Carlos Correa, it's Royce Lewis, and it's Byron Buxton. He's flying around here. He's doing his thing in the outfield. He is the longest tenured Twin, and CY spoke to him just a few moments ago.
It means a lot, you know. Obviously, getting drafted here and being able to put this uniform on every day is it's a dream come true. You know, I don't take a day for granted, and yeah, you know, it's fun being a Minnesota Twin.
You got to have a lot of fun when you're just out here messing around. Tell me about the group of outfielders that you have working with and what it means for you to be that center fielder out there every day.
Oh yeah, it's fun being a bulldog. You know, center fielders, you got to be a bulldog and go get everything. But to be able to work with the outfielders and, you know, pass along what I've learned to them is fun. You know, I got the chance and still get the chance to work with Torrey and Kadire and guys that come down for spring training. So the knowledge that I've learned from them is what helped me get to where I am today.
Tell me, I gotta ask you, one of the fastest guys in the league, spring training, you just stole third base for the first time.
I read that too.
Did you know that?
Nope.
Like in the moment.
I can tell you, the last time I stole third, who was playing?
High school game.
Oh, nah. I was in the big leagues. Eduardo Nunez was at first. I was at second. We was going to double steal. Got thrown out at third. Last time I stole.
That was 2017.
Yep.
How did I know that? We got the best research team in the game.
You do. But I know that, too. That was the last time I ever attempted it. I wasn't going to get thrown out again.
What are you most excited about with this year with the team?
The hunger and the competitiveness. Obviously, last year didn't go the way that we wanted it to, so you can tell everybody came into camp with a different mindset to we want to be better, and we're going to be better. We know we got a great team that can do whatever it takes to get to the World Series and win the World Series. So it's all about trusting and believing in ourselves and each other, and there's nothing that we can't accomplish.
I'm 100% with you, but I 100% agree from the pitching staff to the team that y'all have in place. The guys are on the field. I think you really go out there and win the division. But as far as the players go, if you had to say there was one player who's going to be here before anybody else walks into the clubhouse, who would that player be?
Pablo López.
Oh, coincidentally enough, Lauren's with him right now. Lauren, take it over.
I wonder if Byron Buxton has ever been up before this guy, Pablo Lopez, because every single spring training, I walk in this facility, it's in the 6 o'clock hour, and you're here, you're stretching, you're getting set. Why is that, Pablo?
Well, I think it's just I hate being late. I hate not being the first one in or last one out. But I think it's just it gives me an opportunity to show up to the ballpark and do everything at a little more like my own speed. You know, I don't like to be late. I don't like to make people late, to make people feel rushed. So I like coming in with enough time to make sure that I'm doing my thing. I'm saying hello to everyone that's showing up to the ballpark. I go over the schedule with everyone's programs, and just to make sure that everyone's on the same page, same place, and just an opportunity to catch up when the sun hasn't come out yet and it's a little more quiet.
Pablo, you have a resume for days. Named opening day starter, and I know it's not lost on you. After all these years and all your success, what's that like? Why does that sound like to you?
No, it sounds just like the very first one. When I came up to the big leagues in 2018, I was just happy to be one of five, and I still am. I still am very happy to be one of five. You know, I'm very blessed and fortunate to be in this rotation. So, but you know, there's always going to be someone to start a season. There's always the opportunity to set the tone for the game. There's the opportunity to set the tone for a series, and you know, if you get the ball to be the opening day starter, you get to set the tone for the season. So who are we as a pitching staff? So we have our mantra, our mentality, like we are the kind of pitching staff that we want to turn expectations into standards. We know the quality of arms that we have. We know the quality of people that we have, the talent. We know we got the pitches to get anyone out. When things are flowing on the mound, it's like being in the present moment, thinking of execution, and also like keeping everything close to me. Because if it's close to me, it's within my reach, and I have a little more control when I'm about to do my job.
Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
The pitching here in Minnesota is a proven commodity. Can the offense cook? CY and our next guest have an answer to that question.
Hey, here with All-Star shortstop Carlos Correa, man. First of all, thanks for joining us. Been walking around camp. We've been here all day, man, and it's such a good energy here around Twins camp. You walk around, you see Joe Mauer, you see Rod Carew, like all the legends coming here. I feel like good things are on the way for you guys.
Oh, absolutely. You know, we got a lot of knowledge from them. They're always around, always accessible. You ask questions, they got answers, and you know, you just keep growing as a player by just sitting down with them for an hour or two and just listening to them speak. We hit in the cages, they're watching. You ask for advice, they give the best advice that actually plays in games. So it's good to have those legends around.
Yeah, man. You in Houston. I'm in Houston in the offseason. I know you trained out there. Watched a lot of interviews, seeing you changing your approach, making sure you have the right team in place to make sure your body's right. What has changed for you in the offseason on how you prepare yourself to get into a year?
Well, last year was a great year because I was able to work out in the off season and work on my swing, and you know, the offensive numbers were way better than were in years prior. When you're going to free agency and through all the physicals and all that, it's harder to get all the work that you want to get in. And this off season, I was able to get all my work in again, and I'm excited for this year. Fully healthy, ready. Met up with a lot of doctors to figure out the foot stuff, and you know, I think we're in a great spot, so I'm excited about this year.
When you go through the season last year, from your years here in Minnesota, last year, like by the at-bats, it was your best season. Yeah. I mean, you balled out last year, an all-star going in. What do you think the adjustment was in 24 that you took from 23?
I think approach. You know, I think sometimes we get too caught up in mechanics and the way our swing looks in the cage. Yeah. But you know, in game, it has nothing to do with that. It's all about the approach and the mentality that you have towards that at bat, and with that specific pitcher, how you're feeling that day. And I think last year was a perfect balance of, you know, having my mechanics right, but also having the right approach every single day and taking it for all the at-bats that I had.
When you think about the strategy for success for this team going into this season, for you guys to get into the postseason this year, what has to go right?
We got to stay healthy. We got to stay healthy. Our horses got to stay healthy, and we're going to be in a great spot. And, you know, we're going to do everything that we can in our control to be on the field every single night. And, you know, we're going to follow the diet, follow the treatment and everything. And we want to be there for at least 150, and we're going to be in a great spot at the end of the year.
I love it. I love it. And everybody listen, turn the radio up. I really believe this is a top 10 hitter in the game. I understand he hasn't been able to put it all out there for an entire season, but when he's on the field, I truly believe, Royce, you're one of the best in the game. When I watch your swing, I love everything about it. I don't know if it reminds you of an Andrew Jones, but for me, as I'm watching just how you enter the zone, it reminds me of Andrew Jones. Yeah. And the way you're able to generate. But what I want to do today is treat this like just a cage session. I really want to be a fly on the wall and see what you're trying to do on a day-to-day basis. What is your approach? Do you even do the tee?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I work on the tee every day. That's a must. If I don't do anything on the day, and I'm like, hey, you know, I want to keep it light, I'm at least doing the tee. So it's a big importance for me.
And is that something that's still common through the game with a lot of guys doing tee work? I know everybody wants to see the high velo. They have all the specialized pitching machines. Do majority of the players still just mess around with the tee?
At least with the Twins organization, you know, I can only speak for what I see,
Okay.
and I definitely see in our organization we got tees lined up everywhere. It's a starter point for everybody, and we definitely work off of that really well.
All right, let's do it. So take me through.
Yeah,
What are we going to do today?
Yeah, for me, obviously we're going to start the tee, right? But
right.
I like starting up high just so I can get that feel of just staying on top of the ball.
Just the feel.
Just the feel, because I feel like it just creates that backspin, that natural backspin.
Okay.
And like you're talking about, man, that's like the generator of my swing. And
All
so
right.
for me, I'm going to stay on top of the ball right here, hit a few up the middle, not too high. Definitely want to stay on top and create that backspin, natural line drive.
All right.
See if I can do a couple, you know, get a little.
And this is right out of bed, everybody. And so as you're hitting, you're still doing your exact same setup. This is your swing.
This is my swing.
All the way from starting up top to the jab step, everything.
Absolutely, yeah. Like for me, this is like me. I'm comfortable. I'm waiting for the pitcher. He's getting his sign, you know, whatever he's doing, and then I load, and this is like my read step. So
Okay.
I'm sitting here reading.
I like that.
What is the pitch? Is it a fastball? Is it a slider? This helps me kind of settle.
Okay.
Almost like on defense. When you're on defense, you're chilling, and then you're getting in an athletic position to read and then go. So for me, it's the same exact motion. I'm getting there. I'm reading, and then now I can make that decision to make a swing like
Hit
that.
a missile up the middle.
That's right.
Okay.
But it's the same swing, man. I'm just focused on hitting maybe 4 or 5 off the top to get that swing, that feel
Okay.
of that true ball flight where it's just staying on top of the ball and through it,
Okay.
which is very important for me. Just like that.
That's beautiful. All right.
And my next step would be, I love going out to in, and I love seeing the ball deeper because personally, whatever I work on here, when I get out in the game, my adrenaline is just gonna, if I'm hitting the ball back here and off the tee, I'm actually gonna hit it out here.
Okay.
And so that's where our homers come in, that's where you drive the ball. In the past, I had a big leg kick, and then I had an ACL injury, and I couldn't hold that leg kick anymore on that backside, especially after the second ACL on the same knee. And so what I turned to was a little kind of a back step, almost like Vladdy, where he kind of sits back and then he reads and then he goes forward. Well, I found myself going back and going forward real hard, diving down and launching kind of straight into the ground. I was chopping everything into the ground. So I was like messing on the tee, and I was like, you know what? That doesn't feel right. I'm diving straight into the ground. I was like, why don't we try? I said, why don't I step like this, almost to be more athletic and comfortable, have a good base, still keep my legs underneath me, and then drive from there. Tried it off the tee, felt great. And then that night in Toronto, we go play. I go 4 for 4. I said, well, let's try it again.
do it.
You got to do it.
Got to do it.
So now I'm superstitious. I want those hits. So then, now we keep doing it, and then it just became my thing.
And you've really showed the respect to the guys who have played in the past. The fact that you go home and you still take in the information from a Matt Kemp or a Torrey Hunter. I had the opportunity to talk to Matt yesterday, and he just raved about what you're able to do. He said, the one thing you have to do is get started extremely early. Since you do have the multiple moving parts, how early do you have to get ready to approach the pitch?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's the question of all time for me, right?
Right.
Because it's all about timing in this game, and I think it just depends on the pitcher. Obviously, if you got a guy that's got a slow arm slot, you know, just a longer arm, longer body. Like if I'm facing Bailey Ober, I have a little bit more time. He's 6'9", it's going to take him a little bit more time to get the ball to the home plate. But if I'm facing a Griffin Jacks, who, you know, these are guys on our team, but I'm facing him in lives all the time. He's shorter arm, he's quick to the plate. I'm going to have to start a little bit earlier. So sometimes it may be, you know, if they're coming out of the set position, right when they come set, that's when I start my first load.
Love it.
So that I'm not ever caught off guard with a
Right.
quick pitch.
You can't get ready early enough.
That's right. And so if it's a windup, I obviously have more time. It's usually right when they start moving that I'm like, okay, here, now I'm reading you. Where are you going? Where are you going? And I'm looking for lanes. I'm looking for my tunnels. You know, every pitcher's different. Some guys, I might be looking for that backdoor sinker just to take it away right away. You know, I remember last year, like Sonny Gray was a good one. You got to look for the backdoor sinker because that might be his first pitch to then go slider off of that so they get you to chase and strike out.
All right, and right before we throw it back to Lauren, I just want to show everybody at home exactly what this looks like from right behind home plate. Boom. That's all you got.
Manager interviews are presented by Sage, the official finance software partner of Major League Baseball.
Lee County, Florida is the spring training home of the Minnesota Twins. Our manager interviews are presented by Sage. 30 clubs in 15 days rolls on with the skipper of the Twins, Rocco Baldelli. I know you. You're a thinker. You come into camp with a plan. Coming in this year, what was top of mind for you?
Well, we changed our camp up a little bit. We got a little more structured in some ways. I think our players, especially our veteran players, they really enjoyed it, kind of bringing it back in a lot of ways to maybe the early camps of their career. You know, challenging some guys and some spots on the field. Really, a lot of the places on the field, we knew who would be coming in playing those places, but creating some good competition and motivation for our players in camp.
As I reflect on your season last year, we go to mid-August. I know it didn't end how you wanted to. Mid-August, you guys had the fourth best record in the AL, and then you had a lot of injuries that happened from top to bottom. But with everybody here fully healthy this season, I mean, the sky is really the limit for you guys.
Yeah, we're obviously excited. You know, we like to not talk ourselves up too much. We like to always let the play do the talking. But we got a good-looking club. We got a well-rounded club. We have pitching both on the starting front and in the bullpen that can go out there every night and shut the opposition down, in our opinion, if we do our jobs right. And a good deep lineup. So what else do you really want? I can't really think of anything else that I would want.
I mean, when you see the lineup put together, everybody's clearly going to focus on Buxton, Correa, Royce Lewis. How are those guys looking this spring?
Well, they look great. They're physically in really good spots. Yeah. They're obviously all three of them are coming back from different things last year, but they're all ready to go. They got smiles on their faces. They're bouncing around the field. Seeing Buck run around the way he's running around right now is very exciting because it was his first full off season, really in the last 5 years, where you got a chance to have a normal off season like every other player. So that's been great. And we got a few other guys that are coming off of really nice offensive years too, like Wallner and Larnick and a few other guys.
Equally as important is the status of the summer sausage. Is that gone? It's gone.
It's
a thing of the past. It's not coming back.
I mean, if it comes back, I'm going to be dead
Thank you.
shocked.
I feel bad for the person who's taking on the road trips. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That was Jeffers. That was
Jeffers' job.
But no, I think he wanted the job. To be honest.
Why would you want that job?
No, we need a new thing this year. It's not going to be the summer sausage.
Goodness. Good luck to you this season. Rocco has so much youth at his fingertips. For more on the top prospects, we'll send it over to Sam.
Thanks, Lauren. Let's take a look at the top 5 prospects from the Minnesota Twins farm system. You'll see that it's a hitter-heavy top 5, but they are pretty deep in pitching as well, led by left-hander Connor Prelop, who is healthy this spring, coming off internal brace surgery in 2023. Then turning to those hitters, there's first-round pick Kalen Culpepper, who was a postseason star at Kansas State. Luke Keeschel, a utility man, but he's got the hit tool to play anywhere. Emmanuel Rodriguez, a 5-tool outfielder who just needs to be healthy, but he's putting together all those pieces as he's rounding out his major league readiness. And finally, the number 3 overall prospect in baseball, Walker Jenkins. Walker joins us now. Walker, thanks so much for being here.
Of course, thank you all for having me.
Yeah, let's just start with, people haven't seen so much of you in spring training so far. You've been dealing with an ankle injury. What's the latest? What's your status on that?
Almost back, good to go. I jumped to rob a home run and came down a little funny on it, but we're good to go, man. Can't have a hard time turning off that switch.
Coming off your first full season last year, what lessons have you been able to take from 2024 and implement into this second spring training?
Learning how long the season is, learn how to manage everything when it comes to swings, throwing, your body, and then it's just nice having some experience now, coming into your second spring training, knowing how things work, knowing how the season works. So it's just kind of a learning and growing process.
And you have one of my favorite nicknames in the minor leagues, Captain America.
Yeah.
What would you consider your superhero trait, I guess?
Man, I don't even know. I'd probably say that I'm never gonna give up. Always gonna give it what I got. That's kind of where I'm at with that.
That's kind of like Captain America
yeah,
too. Well, Walker, thanks so much for joining us here. Have a great rest of your spring. Lauren, back to you.
Tomorrow's stars on full display. We might see some of the young guys for the Minnesota Twins rise through the ranks, right? Faster than we could have expected. This season is going to be different than last. Last, they feel like they left a lot on the table. How can they find that consistency that ailed them?
I think after talking to Rocco, it's just really relying on all of those guys to stay healthy this season. Yes, you have Brooks Lee fighting for a second base position. You bring in Harrison Bader to hopefully give Byron Buxton some days off in center field and keep him healthy as possible. But all in all, their season is going to come down to health. And if they stay healthy this year, Lauren, I really believe this team is going to finish in second place.
Second place in the Central.
Second place in the Central. And I think Royce Lewis, after having that amazing hitting demo with him, He's going to be an all-star this year.
Wait, okay, now I need to know who's first place in the Central. If the Twins are second, I'm just trying to...
No, we just worry about the Twins right now.
He's making the rules around here, okay.
Right, what you got?
I'm predicting health. You heard Rocco talk about Byron, that he's flying, and Carlos looks good, and Royce just seems so anxious to have a really good full season. We always pray for health for all these clubs. Thanks so much for joining us at Twins Camp. For more 30 clubs in 15 days, go to MLB.com.